Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to Expert Skin. Today we are going to be doing another underarm wax. These are the tools you're going to need for this service. Some various strips, sticks, and gloves and tweezers. Let's get into it. This is her third wax in the series on the same client, and I did this way so we could all see the difference in the hair growth as each wax progresses. So you can explain to your clients that your hair does get thinner and finer every time you wax. I'm going to have her reach up and hold her underarm area and pull her breast towards her so we get a nice taut pull. I'm going to apply some powder and then we're going to apply the wax. And remember, if you've watched any of my other videos, you always want to watch the hair growth pattern. It's so important. With waxing, it'll make your life so much easier. You won't be struggling to get the hair up if you pay attention to which way the hair is growing. In this instance, her hair is growing up in the upper part of the underarm. So I'm going to apply that wax kind of at the meridian of where I see the hair starts to grow that direction. I'm going to apply, press down for a good 10 seconds or so because you want a good adhesion. And then we're going to pull close to the skin. And I like to, and you can see here that you get all the hair, a big chunk of the hairs all in one swoop, and you'll even get some of the hair follicles as well. At least you should if you're doing this using the technique of applying with the wax and pulling against the grain, essentially. Here we're going to apply with the downward growing hairs. And as you can see, if you've watched her other videos, her hair was a lot thicker, a lot darker. This is her third wax, so the hairs have gotten really fine and thin. I don't like to leave clumps of wax in my area, my treatment area. As you see, I thinned out that one area that had a big clump of wax. And remember, apply, apply, apply for a good 10 seconds. Make sure it's really adheres to the skin. And then you're going to pull up and along the line of the skin. And you see I got a lot of hairs on these pulls. And this underarm, because it came up and it grows in two different directions, it was really easy. And it could take you, 3 minutes to wax someone's underarm, as long as they've prepped and they've exfoliated and they've been regular waxers. And here I'm just going to come in and clean up a little bit. And remember, you can dot the areas or do tiny areas, but you don't want to go back over a full area with the wax. I will come and do my tweezers after this if I'm just kind of getting the edges of where maybe I just didn't catch all the hairs. I'll do it this way with just small amounts of wax, because you can only go over an area with wax one time. And that goes for all areas of the body: legs, underarm, lip, eyebrow, bikini, Brazilian. You don't want to go over and over an area with wax. You only want to do it one time. And that is why it's so important to look at the hair growth pattern, apply with the hair growth pattern, and then pull against the hair growth pattern. So this one is almost all finished. She came up really well because she is exfoliating. I'm going to show you an after shot here. And there it is. Voila. That's a clean underarm right there. And she'll get about 3 weeks or 2 to 3 weeks before she has to come in again. So now we're going to move on to the right underarm here. And as you can see, her hair is very light, very thin. You can barely see it. And I'm going to have her hold her underarm. I'm going to apply powder. And then we're going to do the same technique that we did to the other underarm to this underarm. Check out the hair growth pattern. She does have a skin tag in the middle of her underarm, so I am going to use that as a guide to make sure I don't go over that skin tag. You never want to wax over a skin tag, a mole, a rash, anything, a breakout under the arm, ingrown hair. You want to avoid it. And you can always go in with tweezers. So here I'm going to use that line as a marker, and I am going to apply, 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 and then we're going to pull up and close to the skin, along the line of the skin. And you can see we got a lot of hairs with that. Even though it doesn't look like there's a lot of hair there, there is still hair there. It just gets really thin and fine. And I have to say, she's very happy with the thinness of her underarms in just 3 waxes. She's like, wow, it became so thin and so nice. And she can see how it's just getting thinner and thinner over time, and how it will even look, you know, after a year of waxing. So I'm going to do small sections. As you can tell, this underarm grows differently than the other underarm. Another reason why we like to pay attention to the hair growth. This one grew up and then they grew down. It's very strange, right? And you'll notice that with legs, with bikini waxing, with underarm waxing, the hair growth is different for everybody, and you kind of just have to roll with the punches. But if you make sure you look at the hair and get real up close and personal and make sure you see which direction their hair is growing, you will be a better waxer, I promise. Now I'm going to be doing it in small sections just to avoid the skin tag and to make sure I get all the hairs up. And I still have a few more sections here to wax, avoiding the underarm. And then I believe I come in with some tweezers to get the rest off. I find that doing small sections with the underarm and the bikini and the Brazilian makes for a more enjoyable experience for the client, and then it kind of ensures that they do come back, you know. If you give somebody a bad waxing experience where it's really painful and you're struggling to get the hair up because you didn't look at their hair growth or you didn't trim them, sometimes a bikini wax will come in with very long hair, or a Brazilian will come in with very long hair, and you do need to trim before you wax. If someone comes in with really, really long underarm hair growth, you want to trim it before you wax. It's important. You don't want it to be an inch long. You want it to be a 1/4 inch long to get the ideal, the ideal removal, and I have the ideal length to remove the hair. So important. And then, of course, educating your client on exfoliation as well. But her hair came up really well. I do have to do a little fine tuning of tweezing, but other than that, her armpits came out fantastic. Take a look at that. I call them porn star pits because you can't even see the hair follicle. If you have any questions about waxing, leave them in the comments below and I'll answer them. Thanks for watching.